It can't be that bad, oh, 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 it can't be that
Weddings
bad.
are a lot of fun. I enjoy
dope.
weddings. I've gone to weddings by myself. I've gone to weddings with a date. I've gone to family weddings where I've gone to weddings that are completely out of the norm. Recently, one of my cousins got married, and his wedding was in a Buddhist temple.
That's interesting.
That's
so different. Okay, tell me about it. What was it like?
So, first of all, you walk into this incredibly beautiful Buddhist temple, and you have to, take your shoes off, and you walk in.
Yeah.
And there's like 6 monks who have taken a vow of silence, and they're just like they're praying over the whole thing.
And the monks are also the band at this wedding.
Well,
that would be
kind
dope.
of. No, they are playing instruments.
Cool.
And
Okay,
they're like
I was
chanting,
just kidding.
and they're like well, hey, don't fuck around, bro, because this is the real
fucking
deal.
around. I have huge respect for monks.
Incredibly beautiful ceremony.
I bet.
They have this like translator who's like training and then we have this meal where the monks have blessed this food, and then we have this like shared meal with all of us and the monks, and it was such a different cultural experience for me.
Yeah.
That experiencing it was eye-opening. It was just another way, and that's one of the things where I'm gonna break the fourth wall and break character for a second because I want you guys to understand. Like, I do understand love and like happiness and shit. And it makes me tingly inside, and like that there's a common trope over all humanity where we can just like love each other and be happy and be one as a whole.
That sounds genuine.
This wedding proved to me that as a whole, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what language you speak or what God you pray to or where you grew up or what language or what food you eat or any of that shit.
Of course.
There is a common trope of love through all of us as a human culture. And this was something that's like, dude, here's a culture and a tradition and a thing that's nothing like anything we know and we understand. There's got to be millions and millions on this planet, and it's just like if we could all just tap into our heartstrings and our heart love, and we could just be happy, and if we could just make a drum circle big enough, maybe we can bang out.
Was there a drum circle at this wedding?
No drum
Usually
circle.
there's just big Jenga.
Oh, no big Jenga.
That had I used to be a wedding singer. I used to sing at weddings. I knew this DJ that knew my family, and he would always DJ weddings, and he'd be like, hey, you want to come sing at this wedding? And they would pay up the wooza. Open bar, and they'd pay me for a set number of songs and then extra for every song, which was a good gig for a while.
Yeah, I remember when you used to do that quite a bit. That's always a lot of fun. I had a friend who did magic at weddings.
Nice.
And that's also a pretty decent gig because people hire you, and just walk around, go to each table and do a couple tricks. And then,
Yeah, of course. That'd be super dope.
Pocket $800 and then you're out.
That easy. You should try to do that as a little side hustle.
I don't do enough tricks consistently.
Okay, then you got to learn so that you can circulate around the table or around all the tables and do multiple tricks.
Let's try that again. Feed that back to me.
What?
Yeah, I don't like the fact where I said I'm not good at magic. Let's feed that line back.
You want me to feed that? Okay, hey, dude, you know some magic. You should do magic tricks at weddings.
Yeah, but you know what? Here's the thing.
What?
I'm too expensive.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, sell yourself high.
Let's just jump
Let's jump into the movie.
How far are we into this?
5 minutes.
Okay, that's not bad.
That's not bad. We've gone 10 minutes talking about steak when the movie at the forefront was not about steak whatsoever.
You know what? It's a big portion.
What is a big portion?
Steaks.
In general?
Welcome.
Welcome to another episode of ICBTB Podcast.
Also known as
It Can't Be That Bad Podcast.
where you can watch the worst movies and they can still be good.
That's right. We're here to defend these critically condemned films because you know what we have to say to you critics out there? Fuck you.
And we also have to say to our friend Otis here, hello, welcome, thank you.
Otis, thanks for chilling by our side every single day and night.
This is not original Otis. This is a clone that we've created. If you guys recall, a couple weeks ago, Otis is no longer with us, so this is our new clone, Otis 2.0.
Otis 2.0.
He's just as good, just as funny.
Does everything.
Yeah.
Sleeps just as much.
Kisses just as vigorously.
Yes.
But we will say this about Otis 2.0.
What?
Not as pretty.
Not as pretty. Yeah.
If you look at Otis now, and if ever you meet Otis, this is, his clone. So you can just tell he's a little uglier.
Yeah, he's a little rough around the edges. We didn't get the cloning process down to the teat.
But it's close enough, and, the other one kind of went on before its time. So now we got this one. You make do what you got.
Yeah.
Otis 3.0 is going to be a little bit better, and that's just kind of how it goes.
Yeah, we're just going to come out with better models, and eventually you could purchase your own ICBTB Otis for your own kissing pleasures.
That's not a joke.
All right.
We did watch a movie, though. That movie was called
Literally
Right Before Aaron.
That's right. And it is available on Hulu. Most of you individuals out there might not have ever heard about this film.
And I would say all of you individuals.
Yeah, it was a small indie film, but it stars some heavy hitters that put on a good rom-com.
Yes, and I think this is actually one of the better films that Justin Long has ever done.
Not gonna lie, this movie was probably my favorite Justin Long film.
You think this is better than Accepted?
Yes.
Really?
I do. Just to judge it based on like how emotional I was getting from this film as opposed to Accepted. And Accepted did make me emotional because it had some good messages in there. This was fucking heart-wrenching.
You're 100% right. This is Justin Long's best movie.
Yes. Usually we're used to seeing Justin Long being a little wacky, which he is in this film, but like he's usually tripping over something or
He's getting hit in the head.
Yes.
He doesn't get hit in the head in this one.
This is not that slapsticky at all. This is very real.
Do I sound a bit nasally to you?
No, you sound fine.
Okay, cool. So why don't we just jump into the nitty-gritty? Christian,
Yes.
you've looked at these numbers. I have not.
Yeah.
So why don't you go ahead and take over? You may need my laptop for that, so let me just
probably.
pull it up here.
So yeah,
there you
I
go.
accidentally looked at the numbers when I was doing some research right before this episode. Usually I'm the one guessing like the Google users that like this, but I fucked up and I looked at it.
And I fucked up and I didn't look at it.
Yeah, so our roles are reversed, but we're still going to deliver. So we watched Literally, Right Before Aaron, which is a comedy drama that was made in 2017. It has a runtime of 1 hour and 45 minutes, also known as 105 minutes. Now, Rotten Tomatoes gave this 25%. IMDb gave this 4.6 out of 10, and Metacritic gave this a 28%. Alejandro, do you want to guess the amount of Google users that liked this movie?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and guess. And give it your best shot.
69.
No.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
That's your, okay, fake answer.
Joke answer.
What do you think it is?
78%.
Wrong. Dude, you're going to be surprised. We both love this film. It's 53%.
Really?
Dude. Very low. Very
Wow.
low, which I don't get because right from the get, this was a good fucking movie. Oh, let me read the synopsis.
Do it.
Yeah.
Synapses coming right at you.
Right at you. Adam is devastated to learn that his ex-girlfriend has invited him to her upcoming wedding. Returning home for the festivities, Adam must confront unresolved feelings while trying to convince himself and everyone else that he is truly happy for her. Now, that's why I brought up like weddings at the beginning of this episode, because it does tie into the movie that we are about to review.
Uh-huh.
And shit, just from that synopsis, how heartbreaking is it?
Insanely hard.
Insanely, dude, you choose to eat food during the wrong times.
I thought usually I take longer with the nitty gritty, and I thought you were gonna have a little bit more to say. I thought I had enough time to at least swallow.
I just went straight into it.
You didn't.
You've done this before. It's a mistake bringing you food to this.
You're a
room.
mistake.
What? No, I'm not. Great comeback. That's sarcasm. I brought you trail mix before, and you were like, okay, I'll eat this after the episode. In the middle of the episode, you hear the unraveling of the packaging of the trail mix. And
Well, look, so just I'm gonna stop you. You're already.
I'm hot. I know.
Hey.
Because during that episode,
Let's focus
you were
this-
looking at the nuts. You were naming the nuts and the raisins and the M&Ms.
Naming them.
Yes. You were like, this is a cashew. This is a macadamia.
Breathe.
I'm upset.
Literally right before Aaron.
Literally right before Aaron.
You good?
I'm good.
Okay. This isn't about me. This is about Justin Long. Okay?
And Cobie Smulders,
AKA.
Robin from How I Met Your Mother.
Wait, what's her last name?
Fuck, dude. Are you like her new last name?
No, in the movie. In the How I Met Your
show?
Mother. Yeah.
Dude, honestly, I forgot. What is it?
It's Robin Scherbatsky.
Scherbatsky.
Anyways, so yeah, this is a film about Justin Long, who
Yes.
is the ex-boyfriend to Cobie Smulders.
Yes.
She's getting married to a gentleman named Aaron, and they did the classic thing of, we had such a impactful meaning on each other's life. I don't want to lose you as a friend. I don't want to lose you as a connection. And so they're caught in this interesting moment that I think everybody goes in when they kind of go through a breakup of like, I think they spent 5 years together.
8 years, dude.
I just spent a significant portion of my life in this movie, 8 years together. It's not like I don't want this person involved in my life.
Of course, they wanted to remain friends, which everyone...
But they're not.
That's such a difficult thing to do after such a long time of intimacy, dude.
Sure.
To just become platonic friends. It's doable, but it's a challenge that you don't think it is?
I disagree.
I think more...
Because could you go to an ex's wedding?
It depends how long I dated the ex for. For
8
years?
If let's say you and Melissa broke up, let's say you are Justin Long. Mm-hmm. You and Melissa broke up 1 year later.
It's too quick. I don't think
that's what this was.
In his specific situation, I think it would have been too quick, for sure.
Too quick because of who you are, or too quick because of
dude, it's everything. It's so complex.
But that's my point, though. If you're the antagonist of this film,
yeah.
I said that right.
Antagonist? Or who are you talking about? Justin Long?
Yeah.
Protagonist.
If you're the protagonist of this film, wow, I may have been saying that wrong my entire life.
No, I feel... Really?
I just realized
Let's
now
break down the word pro and anti, really.
Yeah, oh, man, it all makes sense now.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know English, dude. Holy shit, I don't know anything.
You've been calling Peter Parker the antagonist of the Spider-Man series.
He's ruining New York. Do you listen to J. Jonah Jameson? He is destroying the fabric of society by being a vigilante piece of shit.
Superman, the main antagonist.
He's not a vigilante. He's an immigrant and a refugee, and he is the American dream. Justin Long, though.
Yes.
I'm telling you. Yeah, I don't think you can be put in this position. This is such a difficult spot. As the whole movie goes on, you almost wish he didn't do this because it's so because everybody else would choose not to do this. I don't know a normal person who would go through with this.
There was, I'm pretty sure what it was the little part of him. There's like a small part of him that saw this as an opportunity to object the wedding. Of course.
That's what all the flashbacks were about. And that's what all the La La Land, 500 Days of Summer-esque alternate universe glances that we got to see in this film proves that. And
what?
This film is such a subtly fucked up mindfuck of a film.
Before we move on, I do want to say I think it's important that we don't spoil the very end of the film. Like, do they end up together or do they not? I think we should leave that for the listeners. We could literally talk about so much.
But the final frames of this film
are beautiful
and are a direct correlation to another film that I want to talk about, though. So it's going to be tough.
I think I know what you're talking about.
And there's some points. So they choose to end it on his face and the reaction and his expression in that area in the where he is as the almost antithesis of the film that it's referencing. And it's it's such a beautiful moment. And
let's talk. We could talk about the film that it's referencing without
spoiling
spoiling it.
We'll do it at the end.
Okay.
We'll do it at the end. So then you can pause it at any time and go watch the film.
We could even preface if we do want to spoil it. We could say spoiler alert. Give the listeners 5 seconds to exit the room.
Jump into it real quick and then be like, that is how it ends. Just like what they did to Of Mice and Men to anybody who's never read that book.
Yeah, that happens in this movie. Justin Long's character ruins Of Mice and Men for Cobie's character.
Which is fine. That book sucks.
What?
He kills his best friend.
Yeah, no, but that's why it's amazing. It's unpredictable. No one saw that coming.
Could you shoot me?
Huh?
Could you shoot me in the back of the head?
Well, it depends.
If I was Lenny.
If you were Lenny in that situation itself,
if we were Lenny and Bruce.
If
his name wasn't Bruce.
His name's not Bruce. His name is Greg Sinise.
Greg Sinise. His name is John Malkovich and Gary Sinise.
Gary Sinise. I'm kidding. I fucked that up. But I don't know. I'm a completely different person. I don't think, personally, as Christian, I don't think I could ever pull a trigger unless it was to protect someone in the heat of the moment.
But could you protect somebody from their fate? That's the question.
It's hard, but we're not talking about Of Mice and Men.
Real quick, before we stop talking about Of Mice and Men, do you remember the Saturday Night Live sketch of the lost scene where he's pointing the gun at him and Lenny turns around, he's like, "Hey, what are you doing?"
Yeah. Was that who was the guest
Bobby
there?
Moynihan and James Franco.
I've seen that. Yeah,
it's fantastic. Mwah. Check
and he
it
has
out.
to make up why he had a gun right there. Were you about to shoot me? Exactly.
But we're talking about the masterpiece of
literally before Aaron.
Yeah, Justin Long's poop.
Yeah. So this this movie's fucking amazing. What I think it is.
Shot in San Francisco.
Yes.
Shows us a lot of cool things. I will say there were some straight out things that I did not think I liked. I will say this right now.
Okay, go
Cobie
ahead.
Smulders was not from San Francisco. Nobody who lives in San Francisco rides the cable cars to go to work.
No.
The cable cars are strictly a tourist thing.
Well, I think that's what they did,
No.
though. I don't think
No.
she took it to work, man.
That's what she's like, well, I'm going to go home. Like, no. They made it seem like that was her mode of San Francisco.
You think she does that every
I
day
think
to
the
her job?
That's what they made it seem like. The person who wrote this script, I think, visited San Francisco once, but lives in New York and thinks
You
that
said this about Venom, too, because Venom took
Yes,
place in San Francisco.
Because people don't understand that, like, nobody fucking rides. When's the last time you rode the cable cars? Have you
2 years
ever
ago.
ridden? Okay.
Yes, of course.
Well,
What
who
the
are you
hell?
with? Who are you with?
My family.
Because that's like the only time when you're like trying to do the touristy
Yeah,
thing.
of course. I'm not gonna do it if I have an interview.
And,
I'm not
the
gonna.
other thing is, like, if she lived in San Francisco and worked at that store, she
Yeah.
would have a car.
Okay.
She would have a car.
Yeah, she would definitely have a car. It depends how close she is to this apartment. Now we're breaking this movie down in ways that we shouldn't have.
Okay, you're right. So let's go into the ways that we should have.
Okay. This is an unconventional rom-com.
It's barely a com. It's very real.
It's so real.
It's like nauseously real.
Yeah, now put yourself in the shoes that Justin Long is wearing.
Ugh.
He is in such a fucked up place. And I like how they did not preface at all that he was in a relationship when all this was going down.
Yeah,
in
so
a 1-year relationship.
when he gets invited to the wedding, we do see him go to dinner with his current girlfriend.
At first, I thought it was like a Tinder date so that he could just like distract himself from the situation at hand.
This is it's very realistic, bro. Sometimes you got to do the thing to make yourself feel better. And it's funny because he does have that gamut of feelings at the dinner.
He's so impulsive.
He's like
at
crying
this dinner.
and then laughing.
So at this dinner, they go through a roller coaster of emotions because this was like their anniversary dinner.
Yeah.
They're seated. You can tell that he's distracted because he's thinking about Cobie Smulders and her getting married. But he's with his girlfriend of a year, and out of the blue, he says, "Have you ever thought about marriage?" And she's almost surprised.
Literally chokes on her wine.
She does. She chokes in her wine, spits a little bit of it out back into the glass, and says, "I'm not sure. I might have talked about it a few times with my friends." Jokingly. And he continues to say, "Let's get married." He doesn't have a ring. He doesn't kneel down. This is completely impromptu. He's never thought about it before. And she's like, "What the fuck?" And he goes on to convince her. And she's like, "Yeah, this is absolutely crazy. We should be thinking about this. This is irresponsible. But yeah, let's get married."
She's actually kind of convinced that he may have a point. What are we doing here? We're dating for what? Just for shits and giggles? We're not like kids anymore.
Like this should be turning into something. Let's not waste our time. He's like, "I don't want to think about the future. I want to think about now. Aren't you happy right now?"
And she's like, I am. I am
She
very happy
is excited. She is on the verge of tears.
She's convinced him. He has convinced her that marriage is the best option. And then, as soon as she says yes, he takes a sip of wine.
A gulp of wine.
And he goes, now that I hear it, it sounds kind of crazy.
We should break up.
I think we should break up. I don't think we. And she's like, "Are you proposing to me and breaking up with me in the same conversation?"
Are you fucking with me? I can't tell if you're serious right now. And this is an intimate dinner. It looks like a very nice restaurant. And she says, "You're an asshole." And she says it again, even louder. "You're an asshole." He's like looking around. He's like, "Calm down. You're making a scene," type of thing. But he's an asshole. That's an asshole move.
I've been told I look like Justin Long.
You have an uncanny resemblance.
Wow,
It's
that close.
Uncanny. Your skin tone, your physique, your hair.
Yeah.
Is very uncanny. I did do some research. The only thing that seems like you guys don't have in common is talent. I'm kidding. I'm
Son
fucking.
of a bitch. That's a great joke. Wow. You have flipped the script. You flipped it and reversed it, and well done, Christian. Wow, that was great. You had me hook, line, and sinker, pal.
I'm glad that a handshake came toward me and not a fist.
Yeah, that was. Hey, Well done.
Thank you. What I was really originally going to say is that you guys...
Great. That was... No, I'm still living in the moment. Hang on, pal.
I'm so flattered that you like that.
That was great.
I rarely insult people.
Well done. And
Thank
you know
you.
what? You had a good cadence. You had a good wait for it.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Shoot,
wow.
I can't wait till we could do stand-up again.
Anyways, motherfucker.
Yeah, what you guys don't have in common is height. He's only 5'9", dude.
Really?
So you have inches on him.
Wow.
Yeah, dude.
Just so long if you listen to this, I would love to meet you.
So that he could look up to you. You know, Cobie Smulders only an inch shorter than he is.
Cobie Smulders' husband, Taran Killam.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, Saturday Night Live alum, writer, director, actor of Killing Gunther.
Funny fucking dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. She did a good job. That's a good couple
He
right
plays
there.
Blauman on How I Met Your Mother.
You know who he reminds me of a lot is Ike Barinholtz. He's from Mad TV.
Yeah, I know Ike.
Yeah, I think he's in the Mindy
I
Project.
like Ike.
Yeah, I like Ike too. Very funny dude. He's in Neighbors.
You know what's not funny?
What?
Having to watch your ex-girlfriend marry her new boyfriend.
Holy shit.
Let me ask you something about this film, because this film got real quick, just like that. And
Dude,
this is what we're going to do.
It came out of the cuts how real this was.
This movie is viscerally intense. Like, it makes your stomach churn.
It was uncomfortable. Like no one should ever act upon their emotions, especially at their emotional peak.
No one should ever go to their ex's wedding.
No, unless you are that confident that you are not going to react.
That's not a thing.
But they only broke up a year and a half ago, dude.
It's very, if you have those kind of feelings that he has, you cannot go to your ex's wedding.
What this movie does a good job of is really giving us insight and perspective to how he's really feeling.
I think this movie is great because it gives us that insight, because like I said earlier, a normal person wouldn't go. So it gives us that opportunity to kind of see.
But he's putting himself in these terrible positions. He agrees to it at that first call.
Agrees to go on a date.
Not a dinner, not a date. He doesn't agree to do it.
Meet
that.
And bring a date.
Yeah, Kristen Schaal, who is the voice of Luis from Bob's Burgers. She's so fucking funny.
Yeah, she's a pretty funny girl.
He goes to San Francisco. He agrees to go to the dinner party that is in preparation for this wedding.
The rehearsal dinner.
Yeah, essentially. And he goes there by himself. He does not even bring a homie.
Oh my God, that dinner makes me so fucking insane because, oh God.
Why? Why is that? Expand on it, please.
Justin Long watching her be happy with the guy. Oh, it hit you too.
I'm gonna cry. Let's talk about it. The first scene when he walks in, it shows
500 Days of Summer.
Exactly. That's what I was gonna bring up. Like where it is this made up fantasy in his mind with beautiful piano music playing in the background. So right now you are reeled in as a viewer, and you can tell it's a fantasy. He has a bouquet of flowers in his hand, and the first person that he sees is Cobie Smulders
Across the room.
And romantically enough, she notices him walking in, and they have this nonverbal exchange that is so beautiful and very telling of their 8 years of intimacy.
Yes.
He points at the flowers saying like, what the fuck? I mean, look at me. I'm such a dummy bringing this in.
I'm so silly.
Yeah, I'm so silly. And she looks at him and she's laughing at how goofy he is. And this fantasy is just gorgeous with the music until this made up thing is broken when a dude runs into him with wine, and wine is spilled all over his shirt, and then it goes to reality. She'd never even noticed him. He doesn't have flowers in his hand. No one's looking at him. He's a stranger. He's the foreigner at this party. And it's so heart-wrenching. It's so heart-wrenching.
It is very intense.
Has that happened to you before? Like after having gone through a breakup, the first time you're going to see your ex-girlfriend, you go to this party and you see it as an opportunity to reconnect. And maybe this person's going to give you their attention. And you think it's going to, you build it up in your mind, in your romantic mind, that it's going to be this big thing. But in reality, it's just kind of like, okay, we're history. We're just part of the past. You don't have to answer the question. It's very personal.
It's not, you know what? The answer is no.
You've never been heartbroken.
I don't. I only break those hearts, bro. No, but I will say, it's an interesting thing to see him know that it's a futile attempt to win her back, yet he's there. And he keeps going back to like, well, she invited me, and like, maybe this is what she wanted because this is why she invited me. And they do a couple of times have conversations later on where they walk around San Francisco and they have this like day together, where she's like, no, that's not what it is at all. And he's getting the clear signals of that this is not what it is. And yet he still seems to believe that at the end of the day, they're going to end up together. And it's very sad to see him fall for that.
It's so sad. Yeah, he puts himself in that position after the dinner party. He's starting to jog because he wants to work on himself to kind of win her back or something.
But I do believe he started jogging before that when he quit smoking cigarettes, because he talks about how he quit smoking cigarettes a while ago. And I was like, oh yeah, like that's.
I actually don't think he quit smoking cigarettes. There is a 5-second scene where he's sitting next to the windowsill and you see a little bit of smoke. It doesn't show the cigarette, but it shows a little bit of smoke. I think that was to prove to the viewers that he's willing to do anything to win her back, even make up this fake persona of this new Justin Long that has taken up exercise and has quit smoking to get her attention.
Ran into an ex or had an interaction with an ex of yours, did you ever pretend to be something that you're not, or do stuff like outlandish just to get their attention?
I've only had one ex-girlfriend ever, because that's just how many girlfriends I've had, baby.
Baby.
By the first time she saw me, actually, I didn't have to do much.
You were very different, though, the next time you saw her, though. Like, you were actively and physically different. I had lost weight. She had hugged me, and the first thing she said was, wow, I could wrap my arms around you. Right? Like a backhanded compliment, thank you. Yeah, so I didn't have to prove much. I think I didn't have to try to be someone else, because I was someone else. I'd grown into a different individual. I'd become more confident. I physically appeared differently. Things change, especially after a heartbreak. Like, that's a setback where it gives you an opportunity to grow. Like, sure.
Really. And so, I've been in that position, but I've never had to make something up. Yeah. But I'm sure it is relatable that, to an extent, we all want to be the quote-unquote winner in a breakup. You want to be the component of that past relationship that's doing better.
It's a shitty but real thing.
It is, dude. We are a vengeful species. We are a prideful species. And this movie...
Of men.
Of men, definitely. We want to be winners. Testosterone.
Okay. What did you like about this film?
Dude, how real it was. We brought it up many times. I loved the soundtrack.
Yes.
There was a lot of oldies playing in this movie. I think the flashbacks, they did a lot of justice. I think there's a lot of...
the alternates.
Mm-hmm. Something I wanted to bring up to you was, do you think there was something wrong in Justin Long's mind where he romanticized the past too much, like she says in the movie? Because you only see flashbacks of their good times. For what this movie did great was that it never reveals to us why they break up. And I think the purpose of that was that so we aren't forced to choose sides necessarily. We want to see this from an unbiased lens. So you don't want to see how they broke up so that you could choose oh, no, he's in the right and she's in the wrong, or she's in the right and he's in the wrong.
Yeah.
They just kind of organically broke up.
It's a truth more than anything else that people romanticize the past. I think anytime you look back on it, you only think of the good times. And I don't necessarily see that as... I don't necessarily see that as the reason why Justin Long is doing these things, that he romanticizes the past so much and he still thinks that there's a chance. I think he honestly just still loves her and didn't do the grieving process or the mourning process of the relationship.
That's what I think too.
And because of that and the romanticism of the past, he just, and not even romanticism, the blocking out of the bad of the past.
Yeah.
He doesn't understand that times have changed. The character that Cobie Smulders plays has such an interesting arc to me, because at some points she is very realistic and very forward thinking in the idea of, why can't we be friends and why can't we try these things and do these things? Just because it was a relationship like that doesn't mean that friendships or relationship has to end at that.
Mm-hmm.
And in a way, I see that as sometimes kind of almost ignorant. And maybe as a guy, I just don't see it from that perspective, because how could she think that? I don't think it was right for her to invite him.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what, and like, I'm not trying to blame her, or blame, Justin Long for going or anything, but I think what's interesting is her invitation to him to come to this wedding and have this. Was she expecting him to say no?
I don't know.
Did she want him to? I mean, it's interesting. It's an interesting choice for that character to make.
I think she had this fantasy of still being friends with someone that she loved so dearly. Because if you can't have that person romantically, I think a lot of people try to still have them in their lives. You don't want someone completely gone. It's better to have someone there platonically than gone forever, right?
Yeah, and it's interesting when you see somebody who's an ex going on with somebody who makes sense,
man,
or when you see an ex who's with somebody who's not necessarily a better fit or better than you, but a different fit.
Yes.
In the past, people have had relationships where you see them with a person and you realize, that makes sense.
Yes.
This clearly is a reason why it works. I can see all the reasons why it's a functioning relationship.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily, some of the positions that Justin Long puts himself in are funny because it's why are you in this spot?
Of course.
But his reactions are so real. His reactions are so like difficult for him to say and difficult for him to get out. Like when he is talking to the guy, to Aaron.
Yeah.
The tension is so real. It's so palpable.
It's funny, but that's because we live in a day and age where cringe is funny.
It's funny because it's a rom-com.
Exactly.
But it's not unrealistic.
Yeah. What Aaron, the guy that Cobie Smulders is marrying, when he approaches Justin Long's character and he tries to kind of make amends by saying, hey, you like tennis? Or like even just greets him at the dinner party saying, hey, thanks for coming. That's really big of you. And they have that weird exchange of like, it's really big of you to invite me. It's big of you to come.
Yeah,
we're both big.
Yeah, we're just big guys.
We're just big guys. And it's so awkward. And they start talking about penis size.
It is brutal, man.
It's brutal, dude. You're looking at your competition.
Your one ex, if she ever got a new relationship, did you ever meet that person?
Oh, I met the person that she jumped straight into a relationship with right after.
Yeah, how'd that go?
Well, he was a friend of mine, dude. And like, I know this is very personal for you listeners out there, but it happened so long ago, and we didn't date for that long that I'm like torn about it. The past is the past. But yeah, that was a fucked up part of about the breakup, was that he was a friend of mine.
Yeah.
And so I saw that guy, I saw that guy afterwards because my ex and I ended up working together.
The same thing happened to me, dude. I had an ex who broke up with me and jumped right in with another dude who I worked with.
Fuck, dude. And it's not a good feeling. You want that person to be a stranger, right? As much as possible. And at least with this movie, what we could relate to is the time frame, the very minuscule time frame that occurred between relationships. Dude, Cobie Smulders just hopped right. I think at the beginning of the film, Cobie Smulders says, I would love for you to meet Aaron, the guy she's marrying. And Justin Long's like, oh, I already met him last year at your sister's, what do you call it? Wedding shower or like
bridal shower,
something like that.
Yeah, and it's funny because like he got invited and he was there hoping that he would see her there, and she showed up with her boyfriend and he was like, "Fuck."
Do you think that's where Aaron and Allison met? It's very possible because you could say last year, and that could, on an estimate, mean a year and a half ago. Can you imagine being there
when they meet?
Like being in a relationship with a girl.
But they tell the story of how they met, don't they?
I don't know. I think I was too enraged.
I was doing a lot of thinking, and I think I missed quite a bit of exposition.
I think I was doing a lot of sobbing.
Very visceral. This film is very intense.
What I hate about this film, I'll tell you, is that I'm an avid fan of doo-wop. They play the Platters song, Only You, and that song...
Only You.
Dude, I fucking love that song. They associated that song with the first time Allison and Aaron meet in this film, and I was enraged because I was a team Justin Long. Dude, that wedding was the wedding reception was the most difficult thing to watch in this movie, in this film. It made me so mad because he should have at least gone by himself because bringing a date did not help.
No, that was and he made her feel weird too. It's not good.
I feel bad for Kristen Shaw. That's right. Tallulah was her name.
I have to pee.
You have to pee?
Yes.
Go pee. I'll pause it.
Okay. I'm sorry. Fuck, dude. This movie is so fucking intense. It makes me like it's still my heart rate is still up. Just thinking about fucking the guy, dude. I hate Aaron so much. He's so nice. It just gets me so fucking angry.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry, continue.
Yeah, dude. That I think that's another relatable aspect of this film is like how perfect was her new husband. You look at competition.
He could bake.
He could bake.
He could dance.
He could speak French. What an asshole. He was kind of an asshole in that. I don't know if I'm being judgmental and sensitive or if he was really just an asshole.
Well, we're supposed to hate him. That's how the script is.
Yeah.
But it is interesting. You know, I've met people who you know, fit so nicely with people and are such oh, this guy is especially looking like Justin Long. It's easy to see other guys who are the antithesis of that. Like, oh, this guy's got like a jawline and a beard and is like buff and
really
and
good
strong
at tennis
and like
charming, good with the parents.
So you know, it's interesting to see how Justin Long was struggling with like fuck, I don't even know how to compete with that kind of thing.
But what's nice is that Cobie Smulders' mom in this movie walks up to him during the wedding. Yeah. And one of the most reaffirming things is her saying, I've always been in your corner. And that does truly mean a lot. Like to get the approval of someone so close and someone that loves your ex so much, that means that you weren't doing anything wrong if you guys organically broke up. It just kind of fucking sucks.
Yeah, I get that.
I remember with my ex, her family was on my side, which was so flattering and so endearing, and that did give me some reassurance, especially with my first breakup. I'm always thinking like, did I do something wrong? Did I do something wrong? Especially with my insecurities at the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, that was a nice part of the wedding. Do you know who else was in this movie?
Leah Thompson.
Yeah. Okay. Name 2 more cameos. Not even cameos, but 2 more.
John Cho.
Yep. And 1 more, dude. You want me to give you a hint? It's basically going to be a hint that gives it away. In the back alley. Luis Guzman.
Oh.
Luis Guzman.
Fuck. I was kind of saving that because that's my favorite scene. His whole like moment of smoking and drinking with Luis Guzman.
Yeah. Who's not doing his job. He's just outside in the back alley the entire time. That's
what busters do. There's always one buster who's always out taking out the trash or something.
Yeah. He seemed like he would be the same character that he was in Waiting. That's the first thing I thought when I saw Luis Guzman.
It's just like a different, it's like this was his other job.
Yeah. This is him moving
because
on.
Because Justin Long is also in Waiting.
That's right.
So maybe this was them reconnecting after so many years.
Dude, this is an ICBTB staple. Us creating a universe amongst movies that have 0 relationships.
Damn, bro. Where was Ryan Reynolds when you need him?
Right? He should have been in this movie.
I struggle with how he reacted and how I think well, of course that's bad. He should have knocked the cake over and been a weird like heroin addict in that moment. He was like weirdly like transfixed when he did that shit, which I don't think was very characteristic because up until that point it had been fairly realistic.
Yeah.
I don't think somebody would do that. Although if he does, wow.
I think it's a safe spot to say right here. I think let's just fucking go with it. Spoiler alerts to come ahead because I do want to talk about the end. So right before he knocks over the cake,
he goes to the
gets
bathroom.
Shit-faced, dude. Yeah, he
gets super drunk.
Yeah, man.
I've never done that at a wedding.
He got so drunk that all of the champagne glasses that he drinks from just throws them and lets them shatter on the floor. There are children at this wedding that can step on those things.
He thought they were the children from Love, Wedding, Repeat, so he was teaching them a lesson.
Yeah, because those kids are fucks.
So he goes to the bathroom to relieve himself, and he ends up being in the women's bathroom.
Yeah, because he's so drunk. And who comes into the bathroom? Cobie Smulders. And
Allison. Her character's name is Allison.
Yeah, Allison and like one of her bridesmaids. Maybe her maid
sister.
of honor or something. But yeah, she's just going in there to fix her dress, and eventually it's just Allison in the bathroom. And at that point, Justin Long is in this stall, and this is a fight or flight moment. And of course, he looks at the wall, and it says "Carpe Diem," and he's like, "I don't know, it's now or never."
And then he looks at the other wall, and what does it say?
Does it say like "suck dick"?
It's like "you suck," or like
"you suck," I believe is what it says. And I thought that was so funny. And at that moment, he busts the door open, and she's surprised, as any girl in the girl's bathroom would be.
Of course. You're not supposed to be in there, guys.
Yeah. Spoiler alert. Don't be in girls' bathrooms.
And they have this like moment of finally they get to talk.
Yeah.
That makes me think that maybe their day together walking around the city wasn't real.
Like, wasn't in what sense?
Like, because he goes to and sees her come out of work.
Yeah.
And then they kind of like get on the trolley, and then they have like a day together and talk, and then she goes off and has the wedding. Mm-hmm. When he has this conversation with her, it's almost like counteracting of what they said there, where they kind of have this like loving moment there.
Yeah.
This is the moment probably where she's like, no, we're not going to have a loving moment anymore. Yeah. We're not in that part of our life anymore. Like, it's over now. I'm getting married to somebody that I love. Mm-hmm. We don't love each other anymore. You don't get it. And so that, I don't know. It just makes me question all of the realities because they have so many alternates.
I think that date was real. And I know there's a part of Cobie Smulders' character that is still maybe not in love, but still deeply cares for and loves Justin Long's character, which is why they have such an organically good time during that date and whatnot, right? They could have these cute conversations where they have their pet names for each other, like Dummy and like Idiot, and it's so cute, so heart-wrenching to see those scenes.
I want to ask you about one of the characters that I could not stand.
Who?
The character's name is David.
Okay.
And David, from what I understand, is the best man.
Oh, is he the dick?
With the hat. He makes the toast.
Oh, the fucking guy that gets the hot chick at the dinner party?
Sits on Justin Long's lap and like pushes him out of the comment.
That guy is a fuck, dude. And I know people like that. And it's great. He has a load of confidence, but he's kind of cocky and he's unaware, dude.
He's not unaware. I think he's 100% aware.
You think so?
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about him for a minute. Because he makes the toast at the dinner party. And
then turns to the girl next to him and he's like, man, you're hot.
And basically kisses her on the cheek. And he's like, I'm sorry if I did that. I just been wanting to do that all night. And it works. She loves it. And Justin Long is alone at this dinner party. He has no one to talk to. And he attempts to talk to this girl. And he sits down next to her and says, Where are you from? And she's like, and before she could finish her sentence, who walks in? David. Just kind of sits on his lap, and
Justin Long's trying to get out. He can't get out.
Yeah.
They're ignoring him. That's cringy. That's the cringy part where
super cringy.
But very well done.
Yeah, and there was the one slapstick moment of the movie. Justin Long falls out of the chair.
Justin Long did the Justin Long thing in that. You're right. He does hit his head.
They need at least one.
He has to. It's in his contract.
Mm-hmm. It's in his contract. Justin Long
has to hit his head.
Before you sign this, you need to read the fine line and the fine print right here. It says you have to hit your head at least
Justin
once.
Long isn't aware of that clause. It's just what his lawyers put in there. So every time he reads the script, he's like, "Damn it, I'm hitting my head again.
Again?
Can we do one take without me hitting the head?" And the director's like, "No, do it."
Yeah, it's as necessary as like Ryan Gosling being shirtless in a movie. That sounds really suggestive on my part. You know what I mean? I was trying to make that connection.
I get it.
Okay. Thanks for getting it.
Hey, man. Do you have a Best Person on Set award?
It's going to have to go to the director. Can you look up the name of the director for me?
The name of the director is Butt Munch Makers.
That's the best made-up name you could come up with?
Yeah, Bunch Mutt Makers, spelled B-U-T-T.
No, it's like Robert or Roger something.
The director's name is Ryan Eggold.
Thank you for finding it right when I found it.
You're welcome.
So he's the director. He did the screenplay, and the piano music that is spread throughout this movie was composed by him.
That's beautiful.
And I have to give it to him because music played a vital component to this movie.
I agree. And I would also give it to Ryan Eggold if I didn't think that that's lame for both of us to agree. So I choose Justin Long.
You're going to choose the main actor.
Yes, because look at the kind of acting that he's doing. Aside from that one slapsticky scene falling out of the chair, he is doing some of the deepest, most realistic acting I've seen in a long time. Mm-hmm. Like, this is some... I mean, I don't know. I really don't know how people don't like this film.
Uh-huh. It's really half of the individuals on Google do not like this movie.
If you don't like this film, it's because it hit too close to home.
Yeah, if you don't like this film,
And it made you uncomfortable because of that.
You have a cold heart.
You need to look deep into yourself and realize why this film makes you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, this is really a moment of self-reflection, an opportunity to really think about what the fuck happened to you in the past for you to not like this beautiful movie.
Oh, man. And if you got to think about why you would go to your ex's wedding, you shouldn't. And if you do, this is what would happen.
Be prepared.
Be prepared for heartbreak.
Yes.
What would you rate this movie?
5 out of 5.
I give this a 6 out of 5.
Oh, can I change mine now that you've inspired me to break the spectrum and go outside of it?
Nope, you picked
7
5.
out of 5.
Too late, you picked 5.
5.
Mine's better than
8 out of 5.
No!
Did you burp at the same time when you did that?
No.
Okay, because that sounded disgusting.
Yes.
What? You heathen. Yes. Justin Long.
My honorable mention is Luis Guzman.
Luis Guzman doing the
Drinking
Luis
Dom
Guzman thing
Perignon and smoking a joint.
and offering him some cocaine.
And then he goes back out and smokes. No, he offered him weed.
In a Ziploc? Because that looked like white powder, my friend.
It looked like weed to me.
If you think weed is a white powder, then okay.
You didn't see the contents of the bag.
You see it, dude.
No.
He holds it right there.
No.
Right there. Watch it again. Watch it
I'm
again.
not going to.
Do we want to spoil this movie at all?
I do love the ending. We already kind of talked about it, so yeah, we are.
Okay.
The ending is gorgeous because...
Oh, we never talked about what happened in the bathroom.
Tell us.
So in the bathroom, he finally has Cobie Smulders to himself, and they can actually have a real dialogue without the distraction of her wedding.
Without all the stuff going on, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Of course she's going to be occupied. But he talks to her and he says, why couldn't we have done this? And that hit me. And he says it over and over again. You know, at first it's jokingly, and they both kind of laugh about it. And it zooms up on his face, and he says one more time quietly, he says, why couldn't we have done it? 8 years. 8 years, and they both agree that they had really good moments. Yeah, some shitty moments, as naturally as a relationship would have. But they had some beautiful moments, and he's drunk in this bathroom with her, and they're joking, and their faces are getting closer because they have that natural connection, and he kisses her. And you can see in that scene, she kisses back for that one smooch. And I think that's such an important scene because it's very telling of what residual feelings she has left for him. Mm-hmm. And she pushes him off. She says, I can't do this. I don't think it was right for him to have waited that long to confess his feelings.
Sure, of course.
It's not right to do that when you're in a relationship, of course, when someone else is in a relationship, but it's definitely not right to do it on their wedding day. Let them have that day at least. But, I don't know how, that would have felt, dude. In the moment, he must have been so lost. The character and the portrayal of this emotion that Justin Long does in that scene is so real, dude. Real.
The amount of hurt and loss and understanding that is finally being made clear to him. You know, when you go through a breakup and when you lose somebody that you love so deeply like that, I think it shows in this character how lost he is. Yeah. Because for so long he thought this was going to be the truth. He was going to marry her, and he was going to be with her, and that was going to be his life. And then now here he was seeing it like it's a alternate universe. Like here she is with somebody else, and it's like, why couldn't that have been us?
He even brings up like a memory in the past where
when she said, "Yeah, dude,"
she takes like a Polaroid picture of him, and they're in bed, and she looks at the Polaroid picture and says to him, I can't believe this is going to be the man that I marry." Yeah. And he brings that up to her in the bathroom, and she's like, "I still have that picture." And you can tell that there's something still there, but it makes you think, what if? What if things had gone differently? What could I have done right to make that universe possible where I marry you? And I don't know. I'm such a sucker for movies like this. But this is, like we've said, an unconventional rom-com. It pulls a Rogue One. You
know what? And so he ends up making quite a big stunt in the wedding.
Yeah.
He pushes the wedding cake off of the stage and destroys it.
And that wedding cake was made by Aaron.
Of course, he baked it himself.
He says he
went
goes to France
to learn how to bake this motherfucker.
And he thanks the chef that
chef
taught
is
him.
there, the bitch.
And the chef is the most stereotypical French chef.
Stinky chef.
He has those hats, those like froppy hats that chefs always have.
And Justin Long takes a scoop out of the cake and takes a bite.
Dude, I love the audience, like everyone in the room. I love their reaction to what he's doing. Yeah, they like the music stops. They all turn around to see that the cake is on the floor, and they're looking at him like he's an animal, and he eats it like an animal. And they're all like, "Whoa! I can't." I don't know why that was the most surprising moment of what had just happened.
So he takes off running. The groom takes off running after him.
Chases him.
Allison, Cobie Smulders, Robin Jabotsky, Maria Hill chases after him as well. Agent Maria Hill from the Shield.
Oh, that's what it is. I was like, Maria Hill. Who's that?
They chase after him, and then he is running in the busy streets of San Francisco and gets hit by a car.
Holy shit. Yeah, and yes, that's a Justin Long thing, but not the way it was shot.
Not like that.
It was
that seemed
real.
like something out of the Joker.
It was gritty, dude.
He gets
Brutal.
hit, and then they see him from like across the street, and then he hops on this bus and is trying to get away from them. And the final scenes, the final frames, is him sitting in the backseat of the bus. Very reminiscent of The Graduate. Very
with Dustin
reminiscent
Hoffman.
of this tentpole romantic film that everybody kind of thinks of as this greatest coming of age story. And where that movie ends in obscurity and nervousness,
yes,
this film ends in obscurity and satisfaction.
Yeah.
Where Justin Long finally has that at-peace moment of, now I can be myself without this kind of feeling. You know, I think it takes a long time for men and for people to kind of get over relationships where they feel so deeply for them.
Yeah.
You know, men are often told that they have to have this one standing relationship and this one real thing, and you love your woman, you love this woman, and that's the end of the day. And then, you know, and you lose your identity sometimes in relationships. I think as men tend to forget who they are. And when it's over, they have no idea how to even get back to what it was that they were in the beginning.
Yeah.
So this ending of the movie is very telling for Justin Long. Is finally getting this at-peace semblance of resilience that he has of who he is.
He did everything that he could do to really ensure that what they could have could not happen anymore. It's no one wants to go on living with regrets or with what ifs, right?
Well, and to prove like what Luis Guzman tells him, he's like, you know, yeah, I used to have a fish that I really liked. And then one day the fish died, and he goes, and then I went to the store and I got a different fish. And he goes, but it's not the same. He's like, exactly.
Yeah.
I got a different fish.
I'll never have another Tom Petty. He named the goldfish Tom Petty.
But I got a Bob Dylan.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's so relatable because it's...
You don't have to look for that relationship again in another person.
No.
You don't have to look for who's the replacement of that last person. You can have that relationship and have those feelings and moments and then move on and look for something different from someone different.
Yeah.
At a different time, you know?
Because even though he ultimately destroyed that wedding reception, that was just like half a day of misery that saves him from the rest of his life of not ever knowing if he could ever rekindle the flame that went out between them two, dude. Because you just want to make sure.
What a realistic film, you know?
Yeah, dude.
Well, in a somewhat of a way, you know?
In some, yeah. There, these situations happen.
Yeah, yes.
These situations happen, and this could have fell victim to your typical rom-com where it's the happily ever after and you could predict everything that's going on. But I was on the edge of my seat for a lot of the movie thinking what's going to happen next. And I think it's very underrated. Very underrated. Yes. More people should watch this. Once again, Baddies, this is available for streaming on Hulu. You could watch it and you could find it on other streaming sites. You probably have to pay for it. But yeah, this movie was amazing.
That's it.
Baddies, you could follow us at all of our handles. ICBTB podcast on Instagram.
You can follow Christian at Christian Has Asthma.
You can follow Alejandro at call_me_Jesus.
And you could also follow yourself. Just believe in yourself.
Really?
Know that you are a strong, complete person.
Look in the mirror and look at that person that you see.
And don't text your ex.
Don't do it.
Also, that person who wasn't really your ex, but you had kind of like weird feelings and you're not talking to them anymore, don't text that person either.
Yeah, don't.
That's not good for you either.
It's not good for that person either.
Nope. Just let it bygones be bygones.
Don't play with other people's emotions.
Don't ghost people unless that's better for you and them.
Don't be in a Don't be in a 1-year relationship where you're kind of unsure and then propose to that person just to break up with them right there and then, because that's effed up. That's effed into B, yo.
Is that what happened in this film?
Yeah, we just talked about it. He was in a 1-year relationship with that girl and proposed.
But he didn't really propose. He didn't have a ring or anything.
Yeah.
He was having like a mental breakdown.
But still, imagine
poor girl.
That girl's relationships going forward from there.
Barf. She
is going to have her walls up. Yeah, be a good person. Shout out to John Cho. Shout out to Kristen Shaw. And shout out to that black guy in the library that was his friend from college. That was a funny scene.
Yeah, that guy is hella funny. The one who it was a Barnes and Noble.
Yeah, it was a Barnes and Noble.
He's like, oh, what are you reading? And he's got a book in his hand that's like how to get over breakups. And he's like, oh, hey man, why don't you give me a call if you need anything?
Gives him his business card. He says, right there's my Facebook, my LinkedIn, my email, and my number.
He's like, I think I only need one of these.
No, you need all of them.
Okay.
I like how they interacted. He was like, oh my gosh, Adam? And Justin Long did not recognize him.
Yeah.
Just like, it's me from college, remember?
Yeah.
I hate moments like that.
And then he was like, how's Amy doing? He's like, oh, I don't know. He's like, isn't she getting married? And he's like, oh yeah,
Allison, yeah. No, I don't think so.
She's getting married like this weekend. Are you here for the wedding? I would have loved, I bet you there's a scene where he's at the wedding.
Yeah, I was hoping he was invited to the wedding too.
I was hoping he'd be at the wedding.
And he'd just stand up. He'd be like, Adam, hey. I thought you didn't know that Allison was getting married.
Or if he's like, Adam, what are you doing here?
Yeah, exactly. Dude.
Hey, you left this book behind. I got it for you.
Dude, what was the fucking douchebag that was a friend of Aaron's that said stuff like, wow, ooh, you're the ex-boyfriend?
Oh, he's like, you're the one, huh? He's like, you're the guy.
You're the guy. Wow, how long did you guys
And
date?
you're here. And you're here right now.
And you're here. Wow. Good for you, man. I couldn't do it myself. And he's like a dick to him at the wedding. And Justin Long says, he's already drunk. And he says, why don't you stick it up your dick hole or some shit?
Well, he says, why don't you finger my dick hole?
Wow. And that's suggestive. On that note.
Okay. Yep.
Anything else you want to say?
Why don't you finger my dick hole?
All right. And if you've stuck around long enough to hear that, don't do that. Bye. Can't be that bad, dog.